If you're interested in selling digital files, the biggest platform in the world is Etsy. And if you want to sell on Etsy, the big question is, what should I sell? You might be asking yourself, what can I sell? Well, in this video, I break down 5 digital product ideas to sell on Etsy, and I'm going to use real life examples so you can see exactly what you can sell. Let's go make some sales. All right, I'm on Etsy, and the first thing I want to point out is that when you're on the home page, if you just click the search bar and you just don't type anything, it'll tell you what's popular right now. So for example, I'm in Canada and there's this thing here, Every Child Matters Shirt Canada, and Halloween shirts, collar leashes. So first of all, don't overthink it. If you just click this button and you take a look here, you can see what's popular, and that'll give you some ideas before we jump in. But I've got 5 digital ideas here that I'm going to jump in specifically. And the first one is public domain artwork. So here's an example of a poster that you could make into a digital file. So this is Sugar and Canvas, local seller, 2,233 sales. And this is a public domain image. You can grab this image on Raw Pixel, for example, or any museum website. This is a public domain photo. And here, this is $18. Now, they're not selling this as a digital file, but you could. One thing you can do is you can scroll on down and you can see if people are actually buying the item. So here, it doesn't tell you if there's a bunch in cart. Sometimes it'll say, 5 in cart, 7 in cart. But here you can see this is an actual person. Katie, a real live human being, bought this poster. Now, they've obviously got the poster printed, but it's an idea to sell a digital file that looks like this. You put the name of the, Van Gogh at the top, and you've got the bottom here. Here's another one. This is The Starry Night, and this is a printable. So this is an actual digital file. This is a digital download, JPEG, PDF, PNG, and they've just taken Starry Night and they've made it into a multi-layer vector, which you could do in Inkscape, for example. And then they have a nice little t-shirt mock-up here, black t-shirt, white t-shirt, and it's $4.77. And they've got, again, scroll down to the bottom and you can see examples if people are actually buying this type of thing. Now, of course, I'm not suggesting you just take this file and copy it, but you could do this similarly with the Mona Lisa, or you could do it with something like that. Here's the Mona Lisa stencil, seller called Gi Wu Art, 6,000 sales, Mona Lisa portrait stencil, $2.86, SVG PNG DXF, and here you can see somebody has purchased it and they've put it on a t-shirt. They've also got lots of other stuff, and they're really high quality files. So take a look through when you see a PDF or an SVG file of something that you'd think, well, you could probably just do this yourself, right? I mean, Mona Lisa, again, that's public domain. You could graphic that up using Inkscape pretty easily. The next piece of digital art that I would recommend that you take a look at is something along the lines of vintage comic book SVG files, digital files. You're going to see a lot of this stuff if you type comic book SVG in. You're going to see a lot of Bam Boom, Kapow, a lot of these sort of things. And you could make a bundle of that and you could probably sell it. There's not a ton. What you will find are a ton of copyright infringing designs. Batman, Superman, Archie. Do not do that. Don't risk getting your account banned. But something like this is a comic book SVG bundle with superhero speech, and this could have been created right in Inkscape, for example. So this is a really nice one. You can see here, fly line cut SVG, a little over 3,700 sales. This is a great looking bundle. For $1.99, you get these really nice high quality, comic book phrases. Another thing I really like are cleaned up, digitally restored comic book covers. So this is Lucky 376 horror comic book cover. They're selling this for $2.65. And as I scroll on down, you can see there's other stuff here in their store. They're starting up and they're niching down on vintage comic book covers. Here's another one I really liked. This is called Print and Sell. This is 3,800 sales. And now I'm not saying this design has sold 3,800, but when you see a shop that's got a number of sales like 3,800, you know they're doing something right. So I take notice when I see that because I go, okay, they're obviously onto something here. You can see here there's 459 shop reviews. So they are selling. This is for $8.20, which is a little on the high side for a digital file. So my eyes go big and I go, okay, what are we doing here for $8.20? Well, what they've got is a bundle and it's 200 and 50 vintage horror comic illustrations from a wide period of issues in high resolution at 300 dots per inch in a physical A4 size. So they've taken 250 comic book covers and they've cleaned them up, they've saved them all as a consistent size, and they've offered them now as a bundle of 250 for $8.20. Now you might think, wow, that's a lot of work to get 250 comic book covers. But remember, you can go to a site like Comic Book Plus, for example, and you can take the original scans and you can clean them up using Photoshop, Affinity Photo, and you can basically put 250 into a bundle and then sell them for the rest of your life. These are all public domain. So there's nothing stopping you from doing something very similar. And by the way, if you go to Comic Book Plus, you'll notice there's lots of different genres. This is one of my favorite sites in the world, comicbookplus.com. I simply go here to categories. I select a category. I could go to romance, for example. From here, I scroll on down and I can see there's 6 pages of free comic books. So I'm going to just pick the first one here because I'm lazy. All for Love, 17 books. I also love these romance comics. These are great. I simply click on one. I'll pick, say, volume 1, number 6. And here is the comic book cover. Uh-oh. We're in the rowboat and some stranger snuck up and is assaulting this poor gentleman who's minding his own business. So you can see here, all I need to do now is just right click the file and I can save this image, and that is a comic book. I can click on it and it'll also take me into the actual book itself. So if you find high quality scans inside the book, you could also have that as well. The next digital design, there is a lot of competition, but it's only because there's so much demand for it. So I've typed in here into Etsy, Aero SVG. And so you're going to get back quite a number of results here, 15,000. But you can see here, there's lots of different types of arrows and there's bundles of arrows. These are relatively easy to make in Inkscape. You can also just draw them yourself. If you have an Apple Pencil or if you have a touch screen, you can actually draw these yourself. So here's just an example. Knight Rider Crafts, 18,977 sales, and they've sold this for $1.31. You can see here as you scroll down, pretty easy file to work with, recommend. Another one you can do is you can type in border SVG or frame SVG, and that'll give you back bundles. Again, there's 16,000 results, so you would have to do some work on this and see if there's a niche inside of this, category that you could stake your claim to. So here's just an example, because a lot of people will look at this and they'll go, well, I could make a border, but there's already borders, so what's the point? Well, here's one. This is a dripping border. So they've made this with a nice little shiny interface, and this looks great. Jane Joe Art, 169,000 sales. Now it's $1. It's not like it's not $10, but it's $1, which is nice. But once you make it and you upload it onto Etsy, it's going to sit there forever. So here's a purchased item, dripping borders, dripping borders. I look down below to see if somebody's purchased something like this before I pursue this niche. This is evidence that a human being out there has actually purchased this, which is great. So that's an idea. You could do all sorts of different types of borders depending on your digital skill set. The next digital product that I'm a big fan of, you can go into Etsy and type in hand-drawn SVG. So if you have an Apple Pencil or a touch screen, you can draw this stuff. You can also just draw it right in Photoshop or Affinity Photo or Inkscape, but it's just easier if you have an actual pencil. You can also draw it on a piece of paper, take a picture of it, and then just simply scan it in, and then you can modify it in Inkscape, that kind of thing. So here's some beautiful hand-drawn plants. These are 98 hand-drawn plants, $2.71. This is Love Home by Christine, 23,000 sales. Again, I scroll down and I can see somebody has actually purchased this. I absolutely love these flowers. It gives you inspiration that you could do something like this too. Remember, everybody on Etsy, no matter how popular, no matter how many sales, they had to start at 0. Here's another one. Dreamcatcher, Hub Studio, 10,685 sales. So they've hand-drawn these awesome looking dream catchers. They're selling this huge bundle for $1.71. This is actually half off, 50% off. So you may be looking at this. This is another reason people get discouraged on Etsy. They look at this and they go, okay, so I'm going to draw 50 dream catchers and then I'm going to sell it and I'm going to make $1.71. So after fees, I'm going to make like $1. So you're thinking like, it's not worth my time. But imagine this back in the old days. People used to make books, right? They used to write books. And then you write a book for a year and then you sell that book and you make like $3 royalty. per sale. Well, it's the same thing here. So how long would it take you to draw 50 dream catchers? Probably an afternoon. Then you make this whole design. Maybe it'd take you a day, but you're done now for the next 20 years. You could sell this on Etsy now forever. You don't have to ever work on this again. You just simply make a sale. Cha-ching, you get $1 in the bank account. Here's another one. This is really nice. I like these a lot. This is 27 hearts. So this is Heart SVG by Studio Hello Yellow, and it's 9,500 sales. Again, I'm not saying this design is making 9,500 sales, but when I see a studio that makes 9,500 sales, I pay attention. I go, okay, these guys are doing something right. Here's a bunch of different hearts that they've drawn. This would literally take 15 minutes, and I'm being generous. If you have an Apple Pencil, you can bang these out on an iPad and just send them like into a bundle pretty easily here. So this is $1.30. And again, you're done now for the rest of your life. So as I scroll on down, I can see there's a heart bundle. And then you can also take a look at other things that they've designed, heart bundle, heart bundle. So I really like crafty looking hand-drawn items. Okay, the fifth one I personally think is an underserviced niche. So my little alarm bell goes off and I go underserviced niche alert. This is for patents, patent SVG. So what this means is that with 792 results, there is space to grow in this niche. I'm going to click on this set of 6 gun patents. So this is 6 gun patents. We have a revolver, magazine, firearm, and so on, revolving firearm, $8.32. Okay, this is a digital download. So I'm going to click on this and I'm going to show you, you can find this yourself actually. These are public domain pictures. I'm going to click on this one down here and I'm picking this at random. This says firearm, J.M. Browning, and it has a number. So the number is 984519. 984519. Google patent 984519. And we can see here under patents, under Google, there's a firearm. I'm going to click on it. Google has firearm patents. They exist right here. I can open them up. I can download it as a PDF. That they exist. So these are public domain. All patents are public domain, especially in the United States. So you can just find the patent number and you can take these files and you can clean them up and you can sell them on Etsy. So you might be wondering, well, why can't anybody just go do this? The answer is anybody can and anybody does. I do this myself. So you scroll on through and you're going to find patents like guns, interesting inventions. You'd want to steer clear of things that are trademarked. So for example, there's like Lego patents. I wouldn't worry about those. But like bathroom patents are very popular, laundry patents, sewing machine patents. Ask yourself, what would you personally hang in your house? So here's a set of 8 Harley Davidson model patent posters. I would probably not be selling these because they're Harley Davidson and that's a trademarked item, but that's okay. These guys are doing it and they seem to be doing it well. There's lots of free ones that are like firearms, for example. Those are relatively popular. There's musical instruments. There's hockey sticks. There's airplanes. There's tons of vehicles. Here's those Lego ones I was talking about. I would steer clear of those personally, but that's fine. There's lots and lots and lots here. Another popular one here are drinks. So this is whiskey making patent. So imagine the basement bar and imagine having a whiskey patent up on the wall. You could have wine bottles, all sorts of bar related items, drinking related items. Here's vintage whiskey, whiskey shot glass. Here's some kegs. Here's a KitchenAid mixer. So again, these patents are public domain. And the idea is you can make a really nice print with them. And sometimes they'll sell the actual print. So like here, for example, they're selling the print, but sometimes they're selling the actual digital file. And those are really nice. Here's a digital download, for example. So I hope you guys found that helpful. Please do leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. I love hearing suggestions, your feedback. And here's another video on how you can absolutely crush it on Etsy. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. Take care.